Hey guys, CoffinSkate here, and recently there was the announcement that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was finally coming to PS5 on April 17th, and there was a big sort of, like a short trailer to announce the release date, and it was like this sort of really cool video between Troy Baker and Nolan North. Troy Baker voicing or playing the role of Indiana Jones in the game. And I haven't played it myself because on Series X I don't have a PC, or in this case a laptop, powerful enough to run the game, but the game does look very good, and from what I hear it is a fantastic game. I definitely want to check it out, but here's the thing. So the game is getting a physical copy, and if it ain't obvious, I like physical games. And in the trailer, there was something very interesting. So there's a special edition that is being released. I think it's the same sort of premium edition they released for the Xbox, but there will be a physical disc. However, there is a disclaimer that Does It Play tweeted about, where it says, requires internet connection to download game and content. Now, this could mean just the DLC content, whatever DLC they have for this game. However, we've seen time and time again publishers not having a full build on the disc, and that's my problem here. What exactly, my problem is, what exactly do they mean here? Do they mean, is it for the DLC? Do you need a internet, or do you need to connect to the internet to download necessary content to play the actual game? I bring this up because this has become a lot more common nowadays, and one of the first examples of a game that I can think of where it actually did this was, at least in recent memory, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. A game that had a really awesome campaign and pretty mixed multiplayer, but my problem was there wasn't a full build on that disc. It wasn't... the way they did it was so bizarre. Even for the time. Essentially, what was on the disc, from what I remember, was like 16 gigabytes worth of data. Everything else you had to download in packs from the PlayStation Store, which is really weird. Even if you bought it like digitally, which, I mean, at that point it's not really that big of a deal, but when it comes to the physical game, that's where we have a problem. Because if none of the content is on the disc, then at that point, what's the point of printing a disc? And it absolutely ruins the game in the way of preservation, because, now granted, I probably won't ever deal with this at all. As a 25-year-old man living in 2025, I turn 26 in the next couple weeks, but as a 25-year-old man in 2025, the likelihood of me having to deal with something like not having access to PSN servers anymore, not being able to download the necessary content for physical games, for me, the likelihood of that happening is pretty small. But never zero, that much I will say. But it's the fact that if the servers were to go down for PSN, it would mean that essentially, if I don't have the game installed, and the servers have been shut down permanently, the disc, I basically have a really cool coaster at that point. The disc is basically useless, and I don't want that with this game. I don't want to run into an issue like that with this game. I'm tired of games doing this. This is becoming a lot more common nowadays, and granted, it is not at all common to see shit like this, I should say. But it's starting to become more common from AAA publishers, I should say. The game is being published by Bethesda. It is also an Xbox Game Studios game, and Xbox is known for not having a complete build on the physical disc for their games. As a matter of fact, Halo Infinite, and I know Halo Infinite was one of them, and then Starfield as well. Both of those did not have a full build on the disc. They didn't even go the 2-disc route like what they did for games like Cyberpunk 2077 with the Ultimate Edition, where it had the DLC on the disc and it was 3 discs. or Baldur's Gate 3, where it was 4 discs, believe it or not. That's not a joke, by the way. Um, but it's so frustrating because it's a Ultra HD Blu-ray that can hold at least 100 gigabytes. And even if you don't have enough space on that disc to hold the entire game, there's nothing stopping them from printing it on 2 discs. As a matter of fact, the aforementioned Baldur's Gate 3 comes on 2 discs. One's an install disc. Yeah, this one's the data disc, and then this one is the play disc. So, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth also did that as well. But even the generation before, you had games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk 2077, and even last-gen versions of some current-gen stuff like God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Gran Turismo 7. All 3 of those games were 2 discs on PlayStation 4 because you couldn't fit them on a regular Blu-ray, on just a single Blu-ray. Whereas with an Ultra HD Blu-ray, you can now fit like 100 gigabytes. So games that were multi-disc, like Final Fantasy VII Remake here, are now on a single disc. So it's like, why are we doing this? It's frustrating because, you know, these games, it's a physical game. I should be able to put it into my console and install it off the disc without having to connect to the internet to download a big update of some, not like a big update, like a lot of content just to play the game. That shit should be illegal, and it's pissing me off so much. But then you also have Ubisoft here, who has basically gives a warning where when you launch the game, when you install the game for Assassin's Creed Shadows, I should say, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, for Assassin's Creed Shadows, when you install the game off the disc, it gives a warning saying we could not establish a network connection. Please check your network settings and try again. Essentially, and this is from a tweet from Does It Play, by the way. Essentially like an artificial blocker in that when you start the game won't launch until you can't play the game until you connect to the internet for something. I think once it's like a online check-in, and once that check-in is done, you can play the game offline at that point. How is this, and by the way, also 85 gigabyte game that fits on the disc. You see the problem with this now. Assassin's Creed, no, not Assassin's Creed Mirage, that didn't have the other game I was thinking of, Star Wars Outlaws, apparently also suffered from this issue. Why are we doing this with physical games? Again, it ruins preservation, and it's like when you buy a physical game, you should be able to install it from the disc without having to connect to the internet. That's how all my games, all the PS5 games I have, that's how all of them are. I can't think of any game that is like that. Every game I have can be installed off the disc. I thought Mortal Kombat 1 was one of them when I tried installing it. Nah, as it turns out, that's actually not the case. So, but nah, it's annoying. And also going back to games that require you to connect to the internet to download content, that's not limited to Indiana Jones and Call of Duty. Call of Duty's been doing that for the past couple entries, and especially makes no sense for more recent, for the Call of Duties after Call of Duty 2019 or Modern Warfare 2019, because once again, it's you can store 100 gigabytes on the disc. So why not just have all the necessary content or all the necessary data on that disc? And if it's too big for the disc, again, as we've seen by Baldur's Gate 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can use 2 discs. They're not limited to using 1 disc. And even aside from that, Hogwarts Legacy and Star Wars Jedi Survivor also did this too. And it's part of the reason why I've not picked up those games, because I don't want to support a business practice like that. I think it's fucking bullshit. I don't want to support something like that. It's I don't know. I'm tired of seeing this shit with physical games, and I kind of wanted to just sit here and rant and vent a little bit. So because like, actually, you know what? Before I forget, with so like I said earlier in the video, with Call of Duty, the way they do it is the disk is essentially that's essentially like a access key. The way they do it is essentially an access key where you can then download all the data you need to play the game. Whereas, and like I said, it's in packs, so you download each individual pack from actually the PlayStation Store. Now let's compare this to another game that does a similar thing. Street Fighter 6 on PS5. Now, you may notice this is still sealed, because I actually bought this game digitally. I only just bought this because I wanted the physical copy. Here's the thing, this game has it where you can download the 3 individual parts of this game. I think by default you have to have Battle Hub installed, because that's essentially the game itself. But you can choose if you want to have Fighting Ground installed or the World Tour mode installed. But here's the thing, all that's on the game disc. You can freely install it from the disc and not have to connect to the internet to download any content. It's all on the disc. Again, Does It Play also did a report on this game as well, so I'll leave a link in the description below for that one in particular. But it's like, you know, all these games I can install, even Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. This I can install off the disc. Granted, it's not, it doesn't have all the updates, but this I can install all 3 games, or all the games that are on this collection, because I know there's more than just the 3 here. I can install all the games that are off this collection without being connected to the internet. And at that point, all I would need to do is just download updates, and that's a whole other sort of conversation into itself. You know, the whole stuff with like updates and stuff like that. But point being, the whole point of this video is when I buy a game physically, I need to be able to install that game off the disc without being connected, without needing an internet connection, and be able to play it from the installed data from the disc without needing internet connection. This is how physical games should be done, not this bullshit. I can't stand this, and I hate how it's becoming, how it's like a bit more of a trend with AAA developers. You almost never see this with, or I should say, big name publishers like Xbox and Activision and Ubisoft. I don't know why I can think which one, but yeah, I hate how it's a little bit more commonplace from AAA developers, and I really would just like to see, you know what, here, I'll throw in a great example of how to do a physical copy. Alan Wake 2 for PS5. The whole game, almost the entire game is on here. The Lake House expansion wasn't out at the time when this dropped, but the Night Springs expansion, if I'm correct, is on the disc, as well as the base game, or the main game itself, and the Deluxe Edition cosmetics. Otherwise, yeah, it's the whole game on a single disc. So this is how physical copies should be done, honestly. So it's, I don't get it. I'm getting tired of this shit. So I think I've rambled on long enough. So how do you guys feel about this? Do you really not care? Do you only stick with digital games, or you're like me and you prefer physical and you are also tired of seeing shit like this? Just let me know in the comment section below. I'd be really curious. So there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next video. I'm CoffinSkate signing off. Also check out my Bloodborne Let's Play if you haven't yet, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.